in the 505, moved to the 90-way. Mom and pop, so was cat food on the plate. Government aid meant the government cheese. We on government land, we still ain't free.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the Sexy Ninjacast, a podcast for that ass. I'm having a rough one, y'all. A rough morning. Too much. Yeah, I woke up not feeling too great, but I was like, you know what? I gotta let some things out. You know, it's been a minute since I dropped that Sexy Ninjacast, and I have to, man. You know, my life's so enthralled into the pro wrestling, brother. You know, I gotta let it out. You know, and I've been on this journey for the past, let's say 3 weeks at this moment, where I've been hiking. And if you haven't seen the videos and whatnot, I've been trying to find trails around me. We went to the Snow Bowl, which is above, like, not above, but it's in the mountains. And I've lived here almost 20 years, and I've never been to the Snow Bowl. Snow Bowl's a big deal here in Flagstaff, you know, for everybody. And I've never been there until, like, the other day. And we went on this Aspen Trail, and my God, I looked at my wife when we got up there, and we were taking this trail and breathing in that beautiful air and just looking at the scenery and everything. And I was just like, oh my God, I've been here for this long, and this was in our backyard. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, it was, and there's some really cool areas by where I live. And a fun thing too, the other day I got stung by a bee. The many things being going outside, you know, the many things of going outside. I got stung by a bee. It's okay. It's all good. It was a quick sting, and it was funny. It was at the end of my walk. I did a really cool like hour and a half, you know, just cruising these trails and whatnot. Then I finally stopped at the gas station, got some Gatorade for my water bottle. And then as soon as I was walking up the hill, I just felt like this sharp, I was like, ow, what the fuck? And I looked down, I was like, goddamn bee. And not gonna lie, it's been a minute since I've been stung by a bee. A hard minute. You know, it's been a hard minute since I just been outside, and I just been enjoying myself. And I'm finding some demons. You know, I'm, you know, some bad habits of mine, and I fall off the horse every once in a while. I did so last night, and this morning I'm like, you know, I'm like, God damn it, Kyle, like, just, you know, this morning I wanted to go for a walk, and I'm just like, I'm just too foggy and too hazy, and just like, why do people do this to themselves, man? You know, and I'm like, God, come on, get it out of here, just fucking, you know. So I got up, I came outside, and then it just became too much. And I was like, you know, I'm just going to sit here, just going to breathe for a second. And so I pull out the recorder, and I'm like, you know what? Well, it's podcast time. You know, I haven't talked to the folks in a minute. I want to be, I don't know. I just want to vent. The social vent, if you will. Latest things that happened. I saw Deadpool and Wolverine. Twice on that ass. About to see it thrice. Oh, my gosh, that movie. I had tears of joy. I had, you know, just everything inside me felt right. Haven't felt that since Spider-Man No Way Home. And it was, or Godzilla -1. You know, that movie's just everything. And this movie's just everything. As a comic book guy, as a fellow nerd, as somebody that loves these characters, especially the X-Men universe. You know, X-Men 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time. Days of Future Past. You know, you got Logan. You know, you have this whole regime of movies. You got the Blade movies that are very near and dear. You got Fantastic Four. I like 2 more than 1. You know, and it just goes on. You got Daredevil, which I think is fucking great with Ben Affleck. So, you know, there's a lot of things that happened in this movie for me that really touched my soul in many different ways, you know, and it made me feel so good, to the jokes, to the, you know, to the comedy, to the drama, to Hugh Jackman's shirt blowing off and showing how fucking rip he is. With Wolverine mask on. And with seeing different variants of Wolverine. A character that I hold near and dear to my heart. I really do. And the X-Men were something that I grew up just really idolizing because it was the idea of the X-Men of being like, these guys are different. Society looks at them in a certain way. Society wants them to, go away. And they're enemies to America and this and that just because for them being different. And that really resonated with me. I was just like, you know what? I identify with that because I am a Native American. I'm Navajo. I'm born and raised in Shiprock, Arizona, Shiprock, New Mexico. And, I've always grew up being different. I never strived to be anything but myself. I always told myself, I was like, this is me. This is who I'm going to be. And I found these escapes in this reality to really bond and make my DNA what it is. Of course, Star Wars is at the core of it, but comic books are a major factor in that. And just reading these books and exploring these worlds and everything. My first comic book was Nova. I remember I got it on the rack and everything like that. And I still have the book. It's all chewed up from my dog and stuff like that from back in the day. But that was the escape, And now if I look at things now, I really am a DC guy. But, man, Marvel is still near and dear, man. I remember fighting Deadpool and being like, who's this guy? The merc with the mouth. I'm like, this guy's such an asshole. I love him. Like, he's breaking the third wall and everything like that, the fourth wall. And you can relate in some certain way. You can relate to a Deadpool. You can relate to a Wolverine who's been through so much shit in his life. And there's a scene where Wolverine yells at Deadpool and, he's just going on. He's like, I met a lot of people in my life and I've been alive for 200 fucking years, blah, blah, blah. He's going at him. And, Hugh Jackman, god damn, dude, you had this role in the bag for so long. And this movie, God, this is some of the best Wolverine we're going to get. We finally got the suit. And what I love about it, it's not only just the suit. It was like, there's a little story where Deadpool keeps asking, why? Why did you get the suit? What took you so long? It took you 20 years, blah, blah, blah. Why the suit? And then there's this really great moment with X-23 where he says, I went out. I walked away from the X-Men, got drunk one night. The humans went mutant hunting. I came back. All my friends are dead. And I wasn't there. And that I don't know why, but man, I started tearing up so bad in that scene. I started tearing up so bad just because the way he was delivering the lines and stuff like that. And he goes, this suit is the last thing that, Scott begged me to wear this. And I thought they looked ridiculous. This and that, but it's the only thing I have left of them. I'm getting cheered up right now talking about it. Oh my God. This is the only thing I have left of them. That is the reason why that I have the suit on. And I started crying at theater the first time because I went with my wife and my kid. And my kid's like, "Go do it, Dad. Why are you crying, big head boy?" And understanding Logan and where he comes from and everything like that. And then later on, you find out, he goes, and the reason why he's so hated and he's the worst, in quotations, Wolverine, is because after his friends got killed, he went on a killing spree. And then Cassandra Nova's like, and getting a Cassandra Nova? Fuck yeah, dude. Like, I was just like, oh my God, we're getting deep with this shit. But when he tells Cassandra, hey, I went and killed the bad guys, but I also killed good people or people in general because he couldn't stop. That was the Wolverine in him. He's a killing machine and he just couldn't stop because he was in grief. He was in pain. and all this stuff. And, just such great, oh, God, dude. And then the cameos in this movie, and you're probably knee deep, like, oh, God, I haven't seen the movie yet, The Big Head Boy. Well, fuck A. Gave a whole weekend. I've seen it twice already. But Gambit, Channing Tatum finally getting to play Gambit in a comic accuracy fucking, like, the suit alone. I jumped for joy. Like, I was like, oh, Elektra's here. Holy shit, Blade. And then I saw the cards, and I was like, that's got to be Channing Tatum as fucking Gambit. Oh, my God, yes. Oh, man, I lost my shit. And then we got fucking Chris Evans coming back to play Johnny Storm. That was fucking amazing. When he's like, oh, my God, he's going to say it, And the jabs that Deadpool takes at the Marvel Cinematic Universe is great. Like, when he brings Wolverine in, he's like, welcome to the MCU. You're kind of coming in at a low point. I can't tell you how much I love this movie. I love this movie more than anything. It's just one of those movies that it's everything. It just makes me feel good. And it's funny is I went to the second time with my buddy Doug. The first time I went with the wife and kid, and they loved the movie as well. And the second time I went was with Doug, and I thought, since I know everything that's going on, I know the spoilers and whatnot, I wasn't gonna have the same reaction, so going into the second time, and I had the same reaction. I laughed, I cried, I just had all this just really built up emotion, and at the end of it, and Doug's like, still holds up? I'm like, dude, you don't understand how much this movie holds up for me, man. I mean, this movie is great. I want to go see it again. And I was telling the wife, I was like, all right, we got your in-laws coming this weekend. We'll have some fun with them. I go, but let's go see Deadpool Wolverine, the next weekend. I go, I have to see this movie again. That's how much I love this movie. Like, I need it more in my life, and I can't wait until I own it so I can watch it over and over again, and just have fun, because it's a movie that it's a love letter to comic books. It's a love letter to the fanboys out there. And yes, there's these cracking jokes, and yes, there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of gore and stuff like that, but it's just one of those things where I didn't know I was waiting for this movie. I didn't know that I was waiting to see a movie that was just going to be this fucking awesome as a comic book nerd, And when you finally get Hugh in the suit and the comic accurate, and then you go with meet his different variants, Patch and everything like that, and, and seeing these different variants of, like, coming to the screen and stuff you've seen on a page and stuff like that, you're just like, holy shit, am I living right now? Fucking pinch me. Go tell my little fat ass back when I was a kid, like, oh my God, you're going to see these things. We got comic accuracy suits on camera. Not that leather bullshit they did in the first X-Men. Oh, man. And I remember going to the theater for the first X-Men movie. And the love I have for those movies. And there's a point in the credits. So you got to stay till the end, because there's a joke that pays off. So great. But there's a moment in the credits where they play Green Day's Good Riddance. And it's showing backstage footage of the X-Men movies and stuff like that. And it really, it really hit. I mean, it hit, folks. I mean, it hit everything, and how much I just love these movies, and how much I've grown up with these movies and went to the movies and stuff like that. Shit. I remember going to X-Men 3. I got paid to see X-Men 3, The Last Stand, and I was still pissed. But there's still points in that movie that I like, and like when Wolverine has to kill Jean Grey. He loves Jean, but he has to kill her because she's going on a fucking rampage, and she's with Magneto and stuff like that. And that's why I think my attachment to Hugh Jackman as Logan, and he's been playing him for so long, comes to this point. And I think that's where that is too, because he's Hugh Jackman's been a part of my life since that first X-Men movie, and it's been 24 years, right? Oh my God. And X-Men 2, they dig a little bit more into his background. And then I remember when they were going to do the Origins movies, they did Wolverine, they were going to do a Magneto. There was like all these plans, and Fox just kept on dropping the ball and whatnot. And what was funny is like after we saw Deadpool and Wolverine, we came home and I was like, oh man, we're going to watch Logan. Ooh, no, we should watch Days of Futures Past. Like I was like, we should just watch X-Men 2, man. Ooh, and my wife's like, let's watch Origins. I was like, what? I was like, wait, hold on. I was like, I got three picks here. You can pick the three I made. She goes, no, let's watch Origins. I was like, I was like, okay, let's watch Origins. It's still terrible. But I remember when I saw that movie. It was at Allen Theaters in Farmington, New Mexico, and I went by myself, and because I was excited. Like no one wanted to go with me because they were like, and I was like, I have to see this movie, and I saw the bootleg version beforehand. So, because the movie was leaked fairly early, and I had a copy that I got from a dude that sold DVDs on the res, and it was the incomplete like sequences and everything like that. And I remember like seeing part of it. I was like, I don't want to watch this no more. I want to go see the movie. So when the movie came out, I went to the movie and I was like, oh my God, we got Deadpool in here before he becomes Deadpool. Okay. And I was like, the CG's terrible. And the pacing of the movie and this and that. And when we finally get to the moment of finally getting Deadpool or Weapon 11, whatever they want to call him in that movie, I got so fucking mad. And I was like, oh my God. He sewed his mouth, Mark with the mouth, out the window, this and that. I remember having the figures for this movie because I remember buying the figures before seeing the movie. And I was like, oh my gosh, why does Deadpool look like this? Maybe there's a reason. And I remember just like, when the swords came out of his hands, I was like, oh my God. And I am sorry. How many years later to the person who had to clean up that theater? I am very sorry, but I threw my nachos. I threw them out of anger. I was like, threw my nachos. So to whoever in that movie theater had to clean up my nachos, I am so goddamn sorry. I am so sorry. I was just filled with rage with what they did to Deadpool in that movie. So, then fast forward, and the Deadpool movie was like getting a little steam, and then, they had a little test footage, and then Deadpool movie became a reality. Then they got Deadpool 2 with Cable, and it was just like, oh, life is good. Then they finally made this movie. And I gotta say, I like it more than Deadpool 1 and 2. But Deadpool 1 is something that's a landmark because I never thought I would get a Deadpool movie. And now that I know that Deadpool and Wolverine are now in the MCU, oh, the possibilities. And Robert Downey Jr. coming out saying, I'm Victor Von Doom, and everyone's like, what? I was like, dude. There was a point where Doom was Iron Man, the infamous Iron Man, and I think it's going to gel so well. We got Avengers Doomsday. We got Avengers Secret Wars. And seeing the word Secret Wars, I was like, oh my God, people, it's happening. It's happening. It's happening. And I was following the panels, and now I got to see the Fantastic Four First Steps is called. And I was like, oh my God. And there's a moment, I saw all the people, fan footage or whatever, they were holding their cameras at the San Diego Comic-Con. And they're like, and I saw Galactus peeking through a window. I was like, oh my God, he's not a cloud. He's not a cloud. He's real. Ladies and gentlemen, he's real, and, and I'm doing this looking at my phone. And my wife's like, you okay? I was like, it's just bad. You know, even the Thunderbolts made me excited. Even Captain America. I'm seeing the fucking Red Hulk. I'm seeing the Red Hulk. I never thought I would. You know, and Harrison Ford is in fucking the Marvel Universe. He's the Red Hulk. You know, he even geeked out like, oh, with his arms. I was like, what? Pinch me, God. Pinch me, universe. Like, make me wake up in my Star Wars sheets when I was a kid being like, oh, is that the future? Sam Wilson, Captain America. Oh, my God. You know, and I feel that's the point of escapism. Like, that's the point of it right then and there. You know, I'm living the best days of my life as a nerd. Of course, as a father, as a husband, like I got two fantastic women in my life, you know, that are everything. And I got all this content, you know. I didn't even expect X-Men 97 to come back into my life. You know, even they're talking about the fact that show is so popular that they were thinking of like reviving the Amazing Spider-Man show, and I was like, oh my God, please, Spider-Man. You know, I was like, oh man. But I had to get on here. I had to just talk about it. And I everyone asking, like, what did you think of Deadpool and Wolverine? I fucking love that movie more than anything. I'm going to see it again. I will say I'm probably going to see this movie more times than I did other Marvel movies. Even though I love the other Marvel movies, like Miss Marvel is fun. Not the Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is a great show. The Marvels, I love the Marvels. I really do. The only Marvel movie that I would say that I don't like is Eternals. Maybe I need to give it a rewatch. Who knows? So, it's the only movie I was like, why? I'm excited for the future. I really am. I cannot wait for that James Gunn Superman movie. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. And I will say I have been on a big Superman kick lately. I don't know why, because Batman's always been my guy, and Green Lantern is my guy. But I've been reading some really great Superman stories, and I've been like, you know, and I love Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel is one of my favorite interpretations. Superman Returns is one of my favorites too. But comic book wise, I've been really into Superman lately, and I don't know why. And I'm reading some really great Star Wars stuff too on top of that. And I don't know, it's something about Clark that's relatable. Oh, My Adventures of Superman? Season 2's over, and I was like, oh. And they're like, season 3's coming. I was like, yes, Lord, please. I want it all. So, all right, y'all. I will fight my demons. I will beat my demons. I will beat these bad habits. I'll just kick them in the ass, and I'm just glad that I have y'all to talk to. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Share it to grandma. Share with the bum down at Walmart. Go to the link tree and get yourself some sexy ninja merch. I have some designs I'm playing with that I'm going to drop soon. So go check it out, and you can get anything and everything. If you like pro wrestling, go check out that New World podcast, if you will. Go check it out. And remember, ain't no lie, baby. Bye, 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 bye. Stay sexy, ninjas. Woo, woo.
Rez kid popping off at the lid. I'm just a Rez kid popping off at the lid. About to do it big.